Moving right along, it is now time that we welcome Professor Pradeep Verma from IIT Bombay, advisor MPLI, for a short presentation on Indian Culture Portal, a part of the National Virtual Library on India project under the Ministry of Culture. Over to you, sir.
Namaskar, good evening. First of all, felicitations on Women's Day, and a big thank you to the National Museum and to the Director General who suggested that we make a presentation here today. I will speak to you very briefly about the Indian Culture Portal, which is part of something that the Ministry of Culture has asked us to do. The idea behind this is we have a lot of physical museums, which DG sir spoke about, also Lady ma'am spoke about. What we are trying to do is to digitize everything that is there in the museums and the libraries and make them available on the internet so that one doesn't necessarily have to come to a physical structure to see that all the artifacts that we have dating back hundreds of years, maybe even 1,000 years. So before I start, I just want to say one thing. The team that has worked on this portal, 85% of them are very bright young women. And that is something I'm extremely proud of. I'm not saying it because it's Women's Day, but they're very bright, they're very hardworking, and it's been a pleasure creating this portal. So let me take you through the portal quickly. This is just a backgrounder, just to show you how we are part of MOC, the Ministry of Culture. We have a lot of content, which I would invite you all to look at your own leisure. We have original content, which is created by my team based on a lot of rigorous research. And we have a lot of artifacts which we have collected from 49 Ministry of Culture organizations. And we are continuously adding to them. How are we different? We are much more than a repository. We are not just a collection. First thing, of course, as you all know, understand, it's on the internet. So anytime, anywhere, wherever you are, in your house, in the metro, in a bus, wherever you are, you can still access it. It's been designed for different types of audiences. Students, researchers, anybody with an interest. In fact, on our social media, we're getting a lot of hits from people from across the country, in fact, from across the world, who are appreciating the fact that India has this various artifacts which they didn't even know about. Just a quick overview of the content that we have. We have lots of artifacts, books. You can see a brief look over there. Just to explain the process, we collect artifacts, books, metadata from various organizations. We create metadata and we curate metadata, then we harvest it, annotate it, and put it out on the portal. Quick look at everything that we have. We have 18 curated categories, which means artifacts that we have collected from other organizations, which we curate, annotate, and publish. And we have our own original content, which you can see up there. I'll try and quickly run you through some of that. We have at the bottom, as you can see, we have some sections that are coming up. These are of interest because I think DG sir has been telling us and interacting with us also about some of these things. We have something very interesting happening on the Ajanta. The Ajanta caves, we have a team went there from IIT Bombay and created all this. We put it up on the internet, a lot of technology over there. We have a section on festivals of India. Time the stamps is another very interesting thing. What we are trying to do here is to scan all the artifacts that we have from various museums, including the National Museum, and see what do we have, which is 700,000-800,000 years old, which can be used today. For example, hairstyles. We have a lot of sculptures with different hairstyles for ladies. We are showing that so that people today can get inspired. I think I'll be showing that very quickly, a photograph of a sculpture of a lady from 800 years ago wearing high heels. And all of us thought that high heels is a recent invention, probably something from the West. So we are trying to create a category called timeless trends. And amongst all the categories that we have, the content that we have, I'm trying to put together something for Northeast India. Because Northeast India is not really very well known. I'm sitting here in North India. I've traveled everywhere, but still, even I can't claim that I know too much about Northeast India. And we actually have a lot of content, and we're trying to get more content on Northeast. So created a special category. Anybody who's interested can just go there and see a lot of things about Northeast India. We have rare books. We thought our oldest book was from 1515, but actually when we were preparing for this presentation, we went through it again, and we found that the oldest book that I have in my collection on the portal is from the 1100s, from the 12th century. It's a book in Persian. And we have a lot of other rare books across all these themes, blogs, paintings, languages, so many other themes. So we have a huge collection of rare books, which is growing every day. These are books that you will not find. And I can say that, I can guarantee that many of these books you will not find anywhere else, on any other site on the internet. And these books are downloadable. Rare books are downloadable. We had earlier said nothing else on the portal is downloadable. But DG sir, when he came, he said, let rare books be downloadable. So anybody who's interested, if you're interested in history, research, anything, you can go there, download the book. Just a quick glimpse of the features that we have. Different languages, different personalities, and we've created some technology for making it a digital book. So when you go on the portal and you're looking at something, you can actually read it as a book. Turn pages just like a normal physical book. Recently, along with Azadika, with Amar Mahotsav, we have created this section on Freedom Archives, where we have curated everything from our portal and put it together. Rare books, archival records, newspaper clippings, very rare images we have, and a whole section on unsung heroes, which is being written by my team. These small sections are on different unsung heroes are being written by my team. This is a very interesting section that we have, the original, written, researched and written by these young ladies I was telling you about in different categories. Personalities, monuments, cities, historic events, performing arts, festivals. The interesting thing about this, when you go there, you'll see, is that each of these stories is backed up with archival documents from the National Archives, which we have scanned and embedded into each of these stories. The story is not just a story. It is history based on facts and documents that we have over here, all available on this portal. The story for Koilur, for example, very interesting story. Please do read it when you get time. What I'm trying to show here in either of these stories is we've highlighted certain places where documents have been, archival documents have been embedded. So if you click on that, you will see below the original archival document from the 1600s and 1700s, which again is very difficult to get anywhere else. And these are stories cannot be contested by anybody because we have documents backing them up. Begum Hazrat Mahal story, for example. Again, the same thing. We have archival documents from the National Archives. And the story has been written. We also, this particular story is also based on the gazettes and gazetteers. Currently, we have 3 stories which are based on gazettes directly from information that we got from the gazettes. We have a very interesting section on musical instruments of India, all the 5 types of musical instruments. You can see them over there. Photographs, descriptions, everything available in this section. Photo essays, again, beautiful photo essays, a lot of excellent photographs, and the story behind each one of these. Like, for example, Lava Kale Bara of Lord Jagannath, not really available very easily anywhere else. You can see it all over here. Photo archives, which we have got from all of you and all the other MOC organizations. Thousands of photographs we have, all curated, all put together. We have some beautiful paintings from NGNA, from IGNCA, from the Rashtrapati Bhavan, the Darbar Hall of Rashtrapati Bhavan. Some of these paintings are from there, which you would find very difficult to find anywhere else. You can see them right here on this spot. Famous painters, Amrita Shervin, Naina Devi, Anjali Ila Menon, a lot of lady painters, women painters, their paintings are available. And then, of course, we come to your collections. Who hasn't seen or heard of the dancing girl from this very museum? The Mother Goddess, the Nara Buddha, all of these, which you are very familiar with, but people across India, across the world, don't know, have no chance of seeing, as they don't particularly come here. So we're showing them via this. Yeah. Another very interesting section we have been created is on food and culture. What foodstuffs, what recipes, what dishes are available all over India. You'll find everything over here. Very interestingly, the recipes are original recipes tested by people and then put up over here. So anybody who's interested can actually go and pick up a recipe and start cooking. I've done it. I've cooked based on a recipe from here. So, another section we have is on forts of India. Lots of forts have been written about. These are original, based on images from ASI and based on information from the deserts and deserteers. Textiles, a lot of original work over here. We've actually gone and interviewed the artisans. You can see over there, the Gadi artisan at work, the lady, we've interviewed her. So we have the video on the portal. And we have a lot of descriptions, if you can go back. All of these things are available. A very interesting subsection of this, a story on this called bars and textiles. So if you didn't know, a lot of jails in India actually have prisoners weaving. And that's been going on from the days of the Britishers, but it's very big now. So carpets and a lot of things that, of course, everybody knows in Tihar jail. They're making a lot of money selling things that have been created in the jail. We have descriptions of the manufacturing processes, the tales around them, the artisans, the stories of the artisans, and so on. Another section that we've created, again, please do take out time and have a look at it, is on historic cities of India. We've done 4 of these, and Delhi is going to come up very quickly. The other cities are being worked on. The interesting thing is that these are the 5 categories, subsections, on the basis of which these stories have been written. And if you can see below where Lucknow is written, you can see some markers, red and green, etc. If you click on that, in that city, anything that pertains to, let's say, living traditions, or let's say streets and bazaars, you'll find a whole lot of information there. Photographs, videos, a lot of content relating to that. So cities still being worked on, 4 are ready for you to see. For each one of those cities, for example, for Varanasi, we have a piece on Girja Devi, Ansuya, Sitara Devi. So a lot of things, all relating to women, interestingly written by women, all over there in the book. We were fortunate to get an interview with the granddaughter of Dr. Rajendra Prasad. She's based in Patna. We have a short film in Lucknow Dr. Talat Fatima, who is a great granddaughter of the Nawab. So a lot of original content. Another section, new section that we've created is virtual walkthroughs. You may not be actually able to visit Jantar Mantar, visit the Qutub Shahi Park, but you can visit it virtually over here. All 3D complete walkthrough created by our team. I have two ladies, young ladies who are architects. They have worked on this. And you don't need to actually physically go there. If you cannot, you can visit it over here. Beautifully done. As I said, we have a new section coming up on Ajanta Caves, which should go live in the next 15 days. Our team from IT went there, high quality, high resolution images, all put together. I think we have something coming up in the National Museum of the Ajanta Caves, and that's why we have done this on the portal also. Somebody who can't come here can actually visit this. So caves, paintings, material culture, stories, architecture, all there on the Ajanta Caves, all in 3D images. You can rotate, zoom, you can do all kinds of things. This is the timeless trends I was telling you about. There is a lady wearing the high heels. If you can see the second from rightmost. Okay, and we all thought that high heels was something very recent. All of this, these trends are available, dresses, hairstyles, all of this is available. And this section is going to go live. We're still finding out more content for this section. As I said, Northeast. So craft, museum collections, heritage, intangible cultural heritage, built heritage, all about Northeast India. It's all going to be there. Yeah. Various things which you can read over there, which are part of how we have done the portal. We have 2 mobile apps, one for iOS, one for Android. Please do try and download those apps. They're free. And you don't really need to be sitting anywhere on your phone, anywhere. You can actually go through everything that I told you about. We very recently restarted our social media campaign. We post twice or sometimes thrice a day. We are currently live on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. We also created a YouTube handle where, since on the portal we have a lot of original videos made by us, we're going to put those up on the YouTube also. These are the organizations we collaborate with. A quick look, 49 of them from NOC, and below the line, non-ministry organizations with whom we also collaborate. Just very briefly, in case you're wondering where this is hosted, it's hosted on our own private cloud at IIT Bombay. On the campus, we created with funding from this project, a private cloud, which is a very large cloud, 3 petabytes, 100 VMs, and so on. Yeah. So that is where we are. Thank you very much.
For this informative presentation. India Culture Portal is indeed a great platform for music enthusiasts, scholars, and educators to make the most of museum collection and use them as the primary source of learning. Moving ahead with our program, we have Ms. Komal Pandey, Assistant Curator, Numismatics and Epigraphy, who's going to share a brief talk with us. Over to you, ma'am. Namaskar. Women's Day greetings to all my colleagues. Very warm welcome to the guests who are here. I thank DG for allowing me 5 minutes of time to do this. I stand before you today on Women's Day to talk about one of the very important texts that I came across, and I thought it should be shared on the occasion that is today. Allow me to read from the paper. I start from the paper, I will read some of it, और उसके बाद मैं कुछ कविताएं जो है वो आपसे साझा करूंगी. थेरी गाथा, वसेठी, मुक्ता, विमला, सुंदरी नंदा, पूर्णिका.
When I take these names and say that these women belong to ancient India, one would immediately infer that these are names of courtesans, warriors, and queens. And if I clarified and said that these are not mythical or fictional characters from Sanskrit dramas or figment of male poets' imaginations, but historic women who actually lived, the answer would still be the same: courtesans, warriors, or queens. To imagine that against the lust for power, position, and bodily pleasure, women had deep-seated quest for knowledge. They dreaded to denounce the worldly life and strived for ultimate liberation may not seem believable. Recounting the narratives of their lived realities, transcending the given domestic and social constructs, aiming for ultimate revolution, countless of women in ancient India embarked on journey of enlightenment. This enlightenment was rooted in their lived social circumstances. It did not stem from mystical, metaphysical, or esoteric means. It blossomed organically. This enlightenment was as emancipating as it was empowering. Theri Gatha, in fact, is one of the earliest biohistoric texts that dates back to pre-Christian era. Some of these compositions belong to 6th century BCE, and these continued to be written until 3rd century BCE and maybe beyond. In fact, such early dating that goes back to the period of Buddha makes Theri Gatha one of the earliest texts that can be attributed to women, not only in India, but across the world. Composed in Pali, one of the ancient Indian languages, Theri Gatha makes a compelling case for understanding the social history of women in India. It informs us about the historicity of one of the earliest reference of women emancipation and empowerment across the world. These theories came from all walks of life. Among them were poorest of peasant women, wives and daughters of rich merchants and traders, noble women, as well as courtesans. The theories, who were they actually? They were the elderly Buddhist nuns who, in the most unparalleled expression, as poems and songs, narrated their experiences, which sprouted out of their social realities. Theri Gatha entails life narratives of women who got self-aware about their systematic oppression in society and domestic spaces and they actually decided to take path of knowledge and enlightenment rather than succumbing to their sorrow, grief, and humiliation that they were subjected to. This text comprises of 73 nuns' narrations. These are all poetic compositions full of emotions and expressions, and are equally enriched with rational and logical resolutions. There are 522 poems in total, and every composition offers a perspective on how women handled their circumstances and emerged enlightened. I will just speak about 3 theories whose poems I found the most relatable. The first one, जो मैंने बात की वो दरअसल ये है कि जो थेरियां थी उन्होंने बुद्ध वचन को स्वीकार किया और एक तरीके से उनको यह समझ में आया कि गृहस्थ जीवन केवल एक विकल्प नहीं है महिलाओं के लिए और वो भी निर्वाण को प्राप्त कर सकती हैं। तो ऐसे ही उनिका थेरी हैं जो कहती हैं स्नान शुद्धि से पाप मुक्ति होती है, यह तुझे किसने बताया? यह तो अज्ञानी मूर्ख के प्रति उपदेश है। यदि जल से ही शुद्धि होती तब तो मेढक, कछुए, जल के सर्प, मगर और अन्य जलचरों का स्वर्ग गमन निश्चित है। दूसरी थेरी जिनकी मैं बात कर रही हूँ उनका नाम मुक्ता है, जो श्रावस्ती से थी। वह लिखती हैं, हे मुक्त, तू मुक्त हो जा, राहु के ग्रहण से मुक्त चंद्रमा की तरह, तू सभी बंधनों से मुक्त हो जा। विमुक्त प्राप्त चित्त के द्वारा समाज के कर्ज को चुकाकर तू समाज के भोजन को ग्रहण कर। तीसरी और आखिरी जो मेरी सबसे फेवरेट है और आपकी भी हो ही जाएगी, जो कॉम्पोजिशन है वो सुंदरी नंदा द्वारा रचित है। वे लिखती हैं, शास्ता यानी भगवान बुद्ध, शास्ता के उपदेश को सुनकर इस देह से मुझे वैराग्य उत्पन्न हुआ। मैं अंदर से राग मुक्त हो गई, देह से अपनापन तोड़ दिया, पुरुषार्थ में लीन, अनासक्त, उपशांत। आज मैं निर्वाण की परम शांति का अनुभव कर रही हूँ। आज मैं निर्वाण प्राप्त हूँ, परम शांत हूँ। धन्यवाद। I hope that all the theories within us evolve from today onwards. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Your brief talk was indeed very informative. Here we have a special message from the Director General, National Museum, where he has requested everybody from the National Museum staff and everyone present right here to propagate India Culture Portal and a special exhibition which is titled Power, Patronage and Piety, specially organized on the occasion of International Women's Day, on your respective social media handles so that it can reach the masses and we can have a lot more people who know about this special exhibition and the very fabulous portal which is coming up. Right, moving ahead, not taking much time, we have a fabulous performance lined up by Ms. Shagun Bhutani of Sudhaya Dance Foundation. Ms. Shagun is an acclaimed Odissi and Chau exponent. She has performed at prestigious platforms across India and also in other countries. She is credited to be one of the few women performers of Sirakela Chau in India. She was part of the core team that prepared the brochure for Chau dance for the Government of India to be presented at UNESCO for inscription in its list of intangible cultural heritage. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Shagun Bhutani and her team of musicians with a round of applause.
Namaskar. Today I will not be doing Chau. I should have, I think, considering that it is rarely danced by women, but I will present a Odissi performance, which for you, sir, a special introduction to Odissi, that it is from the state of Odisha. And it is befitting for today because it is a very feminine form and takes a lot of its vocabulary from the sculptures in the ancient temple architecture. So I'll present two compositions. The first is a Mangalacharan, which is a ritual offering and a welcoming to the audience, to the Guru and to God. And today, the one that I'm doing is for Ganesh. And I thought about it, that should I do something on the Devi? But Ganesh is special because he was created only by Parvati. So in a sense, she gives us a message that women can do everything alone. We don't need the power of the men to even create a child. And of course, because he's a beloved of all, and it's also, he's a remover of obstacles. So I think it's good to give him that chance, because we are entering a new post-COVID era and we need, all the obstacles now to sort of be removed. And the second piece is Navdurga, which is, of course, the goddess in all her forms, the protective mother, the destroyer of evil, which were embodied in the demonic forms of Shumbha, Nishumba, Andhaka, and Mahishasura. She holds the sun and the moon in her eyes and leans playfully on Bhairav, remover of sorrow and disease, the way to salvation, gentle and fierce. To that Bhagavati I pray, and so that she may be evoked in each one of us. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce my co-artists. So on the vocal support is Shri Prasanta Kamal Behra. On the Odissi Madhya, which is the percussion used in Odissi, is Shri Prashant Maharani. And the flute is rendered by Shri Siddharth Alve. So we begin with the Madhya.
Namo Nama Jaya Devi Samasasari Dhani Jaya Naga Vinasini Dukha Jaya Vyadi Vinasini Moksha Jaya Vanchita Daini Siddhi Hare Namo Bharate Jaya Bhagavati Devi Namo Bharate Jaya Bhava Vinasini Bahupaya Jaya Bhava Vinasini Bahupaya Namo Bharate Bhagavati Devi Namo Bharate Jaya Bhagavati Devi Namo Bharate Namo Bharate Namo Bharate Vana Durga Maha Durga Giri Durga Tata Padam Jaya Durga Soni Durga Durga Mahisa Madeni Sakti Durga Durga Chanda Durga Tata Rama Iti Samahini Tantre Durga Veda Namo Veda Durga Veda Namo Veda Durga Veda Namo Swasti Bhavatu Sarvesa Shanti Bhavatu Sarvesa Mangalam Bhavatu
Come up on the stage and facilitate the Shagun and her team with floral bouquets, please. Thank you, sir, ma'am, Shagun and team. Now I would like to invite Ms. Abira Bhattacharya and Dr. Sama Haq, curators of the special exhibition titled Power, Patronage and Piety, for a brief introduction to the special exhibition organized on this special occasion of International Women's Day.
Good evening, everyone. We would like to welcome our distinguished guest, Smriti Lili Pandya, ma'am, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Culture, for inaugurating this exhibition. We are also thankful to Director General, National Museum, sir, for guiding us through this conceptualization and execution process. I would like to point out here, initially the exhibition was conceptualized through three objects, marking the three key concepts of power, patronage, and piety. It was DG sir's vision that got expanded through this special exhibition on the occasion of International Women's Day, exalting the many facets of women in Indian art and philosophy. This exhibition focuses on examining the traditional powers of power, notions of power, patronage, and piety through the lens of femininity. The three constructs have been associated with masculinity in the well-worn grooves of religious and historical discourses. Celebrating International Women's Day, this exhibition presents the transcultural notions of Indian art and history, representing the women's voices, spanning across religious and social representation It focuses on the iconic representations of women in India through sculptures, manuscripts, miniature, jewelry, tapestries, ritual objects, and amulets, and as bearers of unique visual and material culture. With almost 100 objects on display, the exhibition highlights masterpieces from the collections of prehistory, archaeology, manuscript, anthropology, decorative art, Central Asian antiquities, pre-Columbian and Western art, painting, numismatic, epigraphy and jewelry, and arms and armors. Now I would like to ask Dr. Samahat to kindly introduce more about the exhibition.
Thank you, Dura. We forgot to mention Conservation Lab. We had a great number of our dear conservators, colleagues, and friends who stayed by our side, who were there throughout in the last 1 week, and they have very meticulously helped us putting the entire exhibition. So many, many thanks to everybody from the Conservation Lab and display section. While we're talking about the 3 words that are being flashed all around the museum, we've been talking about the power, patronage, and piety. The exhibition is also divided in 3 sections. And so while as we talk about women and representation of women in Indian art, as we all, when we go and get to see the exhibition, the first section is traced through the goddess cult and the female pantheon by examining texts, rituals, folk practices based on fertility rites, and the manifestation through different aspects of God and godliness in Indian traditions. The second section, which is on patronage, is explored via literary texts and art commissioned by queens and princesses. And so moving forward, and I would also quickly like to conclude this note that the exhibition looks at the idea of, or almost ends with the idea of piety, which is not just a piety towards filial relation, but also creating a religious discourse or religious discourses. So, so the exhibition is meant to talk about, to enjoy, to celebrate, to learn a little or learn more about Indian art, about women Indian art, female voices, or the female persona. But I must also say on a side note, this female persona has also been put up with the help of a lot of female protagonists and male protagonists of the National Museum. So that is a very equitable discourse that we would like to end this discussion with. And thank you so much. We do hope that you all get to see and enjoy as much as we have enjoyed this whole process. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your insightful views. May I now invite Dr. KKS Deori, HOD, Non-Collection Department, Director Conservation, to deliver a vote of thanks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I got this opportunity just to give the vote of thanks for today's occasion. First of all, we've got very little time to give the vote of thanks because I've been given only 5 minutes. Even then, I would like to briefly talk about. First of all, I would like to welcome also to give the vote of thanks to Madam Lily Pandya, the Joint Secretary, Ministry of Culture, who is sitting here, Madam. We are very much thankful that in spite of your busy schedule in the ministry, you have accepted our invitation to be the chief guest of this important session. Okay, again, thank you very much, Madam Lily Pandya. Secondly, I would like to take the name of our DG sir, Sri Subrata sir. No, I'm sorry, sir. Sir का नाम ही भूल गया हूँ मैं तो. Sen Sharma sir. Sri Sen Sharma sir. I'm very sorry that Subartana Saab ka naam aa gaya hai mujhse. So actually, this is the brainchild, especially if I talk about the exhibition regarding which so many talks have been discussed. This is the brainchild really of our student Subartana Sharma sir, that it is because of his inspiration, it's because of his guidance, it's because of our courage given to us. We have set up this particular exhibition in such a very short time. But this exhibition is concerned, of course, it is a collective effort. It's not possible just to conceptualize or just to complete it by a particular division or section. It's a collective responsibility. First of all, I would like to thank all those curatorial staff. Namely, of course, I may be forgetting few of the names, but even then, I would like to take the name of Ms. Avira Bhattacharya, Ms. Rige, Ms. Najia, and Ms. Komal, Kanak, and so on, of course. And they have given their collections as contribution to this particular exhibition, and the exhibition has gone set up very well. And I would like to give the thanks to the entire conservation team of the National Museum, who has done really a lot of brilliant work for setting up this exhibition, for conserving the things, and the display team, the CPWD, CISF National Museum, and the horticulture or photography department, education department, administration department, exhibition department. It's really not possible just to take the name of everybody is involved. Mr. Rahman is sitting there. He has also contributed his manuscript in this exhibition. Komal Pandey is there. I think it will be better just to see the faces and tell about. Kanak is there. Therefore, in general, I would like to give all my thanks to the ladies staff or ladies colleagues sitting over here in the National Museum by wishing the great International Women's Day for all of you. And lastly, but not least, I would like to give the thanks to the beautiful dance performance of Madam Sagun and Sudhaya Dance Foundation Group. It was really appreciable, and we like that very much. And last but least, I would like to give the thanks to Professor Pradeep Vermaji, who has given us a very good and very knowledgeable lecture on Indian cultural protein. And it was really very interesting, and it was very knowledgeable, and we have got a very vast knowledge, which was just behind the screen, and that came to be known by seeing his presentation, good presentation. And at last, again, with the wishes for Happy International Women's Day, I'm going to conclude my vote of thanks here. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. May I now request our chief guest, dignitaries, and all esteemed guests to kindly join us for the exhibition inauguration in the erstwhile Buddhist Art Gallery on the ground floor. Post which, you are all invited to join us for high tea in the central rotunda. May I request Dr. K.K.S. Deori to kindly escort the chief guest and DGNM to the exhibition space, please. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being such a wonderful audience. Wishing you all a pleasant evening and a very happy International Women's Day.